And hello everyone, it is Tom, it's FANzine Live. We are looking today at classic zines, 3 of them to be precise, and that is because we have the 3-issue series from Brad Foster called Our Story Thus Far, a very impressive series for the purpose of what he was trying to do. As background, Brad Foster has been doing underground, post-underground, new wave, small press, and every other type of comic for a long time. He was doing it and was a legend before I got involved back in the mid-80s, and he's still doing it today. In fact, I just got a submission from him the other day for an upcoming issue of Strange Times that I'm working on. So that's exciting to see one of the legends kind of keep at it. Looking at these covers that Brad drew, man's got some chops. He is a serious artist. But let's talk about the concept of this book, The Ultimate Artist's Jam. The premise of the piece is that this character, I believe his name is Steve, has to appear on every single page. And each page has to follow thematically the previous page. Now, they can twist it and change it over the course of their page, but it has to create something resembling a narrative structure. And trust me when I tell you, it's really loose. However, the artists are incredible. Let's take a look at the first one. Here's some of Brad's artwork, by the way. Brad is a talent. He can do stippling as well as anybody out there. He does a fun cartooning style. Now, mind you, this is 1983, so this has been a while. But let's look at this list of artists. Foster, Brad, Jim Ryan, David Miller, Par Holman, Rick McCullum. I'm just going through Eric Vincent, Jim Sergi. Oh, geez. Kat Uranwode. Now, I probably pronounced that wrong, but she was the publisher of Eclipse Comics. Trina Robbins, wasn't she the lady who did Wonder Woman or Aquaman? I might be thinking of somebody else. Rick Geary. I mean, there are some really big names there. Then the second issue, Valentino, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird from the Turtles. Steve Willis from Cranium Frenzy. Kerry Gammill, who I believe was a Superman artist at one point. Matt Wagner from Grendel and Mage. Doug Holverson, who's, I believe we've looked at some of his work here on FANzine Live. Chester Brown from up in Canada. Phil Foglio, the fantasy artist. The third issue, Michael Gilbert, that's Mr. Monster, if I remember correctly. Mark Martin from the Nat Rat series. Richard Bruning, Joe Zabel, whom I tabled next to at Space this past year. William Messner Loebs, writer of Johnny Quest, writer of The Flash, writer and artist on Journey. Joe Staten, back in, now this was fall of '88. He had probably just come off of doing some work for the Green Lantern series. Bill Fitz, Dave Tosh, Bob Corby, this organizer of Space, T.K. Atherton, and Jeff Nicholson, who did Ultra Klutz. So you've got some serious artists in here. We're going to take a look at this right now. First issue is a little rough to look at, and here's why. It has a lot of nudity. I can't show you a ton of it, which is why I thought it was important to at least share with you the names of the artists. But I can do a few, and I've put tabs in so that I know which ones I can go to. But this is an example. We start with Brad Foster writing his bit, and then it goes to, wait, hold it a minute. And then a bug shows up. The bug then disappears on the next one. And then a lady shows up. And then things kind of get a little more adult. But we'll take a look at this page. This is John Howard and Gene Gummel. And again, the cartooning is, everyone's different, but they've got enough of the standard character. Got to have the guy, got to have the glasses. And you've got some more here. And then you got some here. I think I'm able to show this one because there's no nudity that is out of the question. I do like Rick Geary's work here. He's always been a fun one to look at. Has a very distinct style. Then we get into this one. This bit of the jam takes us in an entirely different direction because, and I can show you most everything here. So here's Peter Laird. Here's Kevin Eastman. I mean, this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles guys drawing in 1985. So there's Eastman's work. And there's Laird's work. And yes, Brad Foster knew everybody. But then we get to Steve Willis. and he brings in Morty, and they are off together on a voyage of discovery. Not only do you get this Steve character, but you also start getting reinterpretations of Morty. Cary Gammill looks like he was getting inspired by, let's see, if this was 85, would this be the John Byrne Hulk stuff that he was getting inspired by? Neat to see all the different interpretations of Morty. And you really do get a great combination of cartoonists in every single issue. Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner does Morty. Go figure. That's Doug Holverson. And yes, the narrative thread is really not very strong, but it is fun to see how the different artists do their own interpretations of the core characters and, in this case, of Morty. Then in the last one, and so we're basically doing this kind of metaphysical voyage type thing. Then we get to the last one. Who did this? Oh, David Martin. Nice looking work there. Michael T. Gilbert. So there you go. There's your Mr. Monster artist. Here's Mark Martin, who did the Nat Rat stuff. We may look at a Nat Rat. I know those were direct sales, but he bounced back and forth between direct sales and small press. Such a variety, though, of artists. Such a variety of styles. There's Joe Staton. Bill Fitz. Bill Fitz was very big into the furry animal scene. Dave Tosh. Bob Corby, who of course had to stipple the heck out of everything because that's one of Bob's signature moves. Very nice. And then we wrap it up with Jeff Nicholson. And it says to be continued. I'm not sure it was. I think it was just a 3-part series. So we had 1983, 85, and 88. Took a while to pull these all together, but it is kind of a satisfying read just to appreciate the art and seeing kind of how these different creators work themselves out of different jams. There you go. Our story thus far, the Ultimate Artist Jam. What do you think, folks? Have you ever done a jam yourself? Are there any that you would suggest that I take a look at? Always interested in seeing more. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment if you're so inclined. And as always, like the video, subscribe to FANzine Live, and tell your friends, because we look at these classic zines when not many other people do. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This is FANzine Live. I'm Tom, and I will catch you next time.